Hi, fellow scientists. So we have been learning about the sun and the moon and the sky for about a week and a half now. And it's time for us to really start to explore in a little different way. Let's get our science notebooks. I know that scientists, when they're learning and they're doing experiments, they record the data or the information that they find. So my science notebook is where I record the information that I learn while I'm doing science. It starts with a table of contents. So in the first chapter in my science journal, it's all about what a scientist is. Today I'm going to put chapter 2. In chapter 2, we're learning all about the sky. To help me further organize my notebook, I've made sure to write page numbers on each page. So like in my What is a Scientist chapter, I have page 1, page 2, and page 3. So in my chapters, I'm going to put that What is a Scientist is on pages 1 to 3. And I don't know what pages Sky will be on yet because I haven't started that chapter. Notice that I don't skip pages in my science notebook. So today I'm starting chapter 2, which is all about the sky. So I have some different options I can choose from, but I chose to read this book, Full Moon Lore, by Ellen Wahi and illustrated by Ashley Stewart. And this book is all about the different phases of the moon and how different cultures have viewed those phases differently. This book felt really interesting to me. So I'm going to read about it and take some notes in my science notebook and then use that information to do some more science. Full Moon Lore. Full Moon Lore. Let me tell you a story about the moon. That bright, round moon up there is called a full moon. Before we knew anything about the moon, many legends and stories were told about the full moon's mystical glow. People long ago kept track of the seasons by giving each full moon a special name. Every month has a full moon. Every full moon has a story. Let's begin with the full moon on a cold January night. Okay, so I'm ready to take some notes in my science notebook. I'm not going to skip pages. This was my last page, so now I'm on page 4, which I wrote down here in the corner. So at the top, I'm going to put full moon lore notes. Lore is another word for stories, old stories that people have told across time in different cultures. So I'm going to put a title on my notes so that I know what it's all about. So the first thing I read that I thought was interesting is that different people from long ago have kind of made up stories about different kinds of full moons. So there are different kinds of full moons. And then another note is that people, remember when I take notes, I don't have to start with a capital or end with a period. They're just notes. People have told stories about the full moon. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Wolf moon. January's wolf moon lights the winter night, shedding the warmth of its glow onto the cold, bitter landscape, helping animals to see their way across the barren land. Listen closely and you can hear the howling of wolf packs as they search for food under the brilliant wolf moon. So January is called the wolf moon. I'm going to take that. January, I'll put Jan for short, is called wolf moon. snow moon. February snow moon comes at the time of year when the heaviest snow falls. This moon shines on the land and hills piled high with snow. Fields are empty and the trees are bare. There is so much snow and so little growing. Some people refer to this month as the time of the hunger moon. White drifts seem to cover everything, and food can be hard to find. So I guess in February, the moon can have two names. It can call it the snow moon when it's a full moon in February, or the hunger moon. I'm gonna write that down. I finished the book and I finished taking my notes. This was a really interesting book. So I took a lot of notes all down the page about my book, and now I can use that information to do a little writing. So now that I've taken my notes, I'm gonna write a little kind of message. It's not a full book, but kind of like an article for other scientists who want to know about the different names that the full moon can have during different times of the year. So I am going to write that on the next page, and I'm going to draw some pictures to go with it. So using my notes to help me, this is an article that I wrote for other scientists. I called it Full Moon, and I can give it to other scientists so that they can learn all about different names that are given to the full moon. So this is what I wrote. The full moon has many names in different cultures. Whoops, looks like I need to fix some of my star letters. For example, some people call the January full moon the wolf moon. Since people have different ideas about the full moon, it can be called more than one thing. For instance, in February, it can be called the snow moon or the hunger moon. Do you have special names for the full moon? And then I drew a picture of the moon with a label. So I showed the different craters, and then I showed light that's reflecting off the moon, because the moon doesn't make its own light. We learned that in Brain Pop, right? The moon just reflects the light from the sun. The light from the sun shines off the moon. So anyway, this is an article that can inform, that can teach other scientists what the different types of full moons are called in some cultures. Today, scientists, you will get to choose a book to read to learn about the sky. Once you choose your book, you're going to sit down and you're going to read by yourself with Mrs. Norton or a partner. Mrs. Norton will let you know who you're going to be reading with or whether you're going to be reading independently. You're going to take notes in your science notebook while you read. And then you're going to use that to write an article like me, to make a video, to create a model, or to write a scientific experiment using our experiment sheets. Remember that when you create an experiment, you need to ask a question, make a prediction, tell what your experiment is, and then your results. As you can use anything in the classroom that makes sense to do your experiment. As long as you're treating all your materials respectfully, you put them back even better than you found them when it's time to return them. So scientists, think about the book that you want to choose to study. Make sure that you're taking notes in your science notebook, and then think about the type of project you want to make, whether you want to write an article like I did, or make a model, or make a poster, or make a movie to show to other scientists what you learned in your book. Mrs. Norton will explain more now. Keep the questions you have in your head.